Question number 10, Lynne Pillay.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of ACC and asks, did ACC alert him that the acceptance rate for ACC-funded counselling in the 6 months to April 30th was 11.9%? And if so, when?
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, no, but ACC has kept me regularly informed. The figure is misleading in that 32% of claims are awaiting further medical information for a decision. The main reason for declining claims is that the Accident Compensation Act 2001, passed by that member's government, requires claimants to have a diagnosed mental injury for them to be eligible for counselling, and most do not meet that legal test.
Lynne Pillay.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. When ACC released updated figures to the New Zealand Herald last week, was it before or after his written reply of Wednesday 16th of June saying that he was unable to provide an update on the numbers of people not getting help for sexual abuse crimes? And was this a case of deliberately withholding the ugly and embarrassing truth that in 1 month of March last year, 238 people received ACC-funded counselling, but under this failed new regime, 178 people received counselling in a period of 6 months?
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The first point I would make in the answers that I've provided the member, and she's made many questions, is that the expenditure in the area of counselling for sensitive claims is not significantly different from what it was a year ago or 2 years ago. I am not aware of when ACC specifically had the discussion with the New Zealand Herald, but I have endeavoured to provide comprehensive answers to the many questions from the member.
Lynne Pillay.
When did he instruct ACC to stop using the nonsense statistic of less than 4% in data categories for sexual abuse, as anyone with a calculator can figure out that in many instances the figure is actually 0, and that deliberate delays and fudgy stats will never hide the fact that the system is not working, and sexual abuse experts and survivors tried to warn him of this 8 months ago?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, it's been a long-standing practice, and I think in a number of government agencies, where members ask questions, for instance, how many claims have been accepted in a region, where there is a very small number, that you may risk the privacy, and so to simply list it as less than 4. I have answered the member in many of her questions, also invited the member opposite. I've invited the member opposite to actually meet with Dr Peter Jansen, who is the medical practitioner in charge of this area, and the member simply chose to personally attack the doctor.
Katrina Shanks.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. What action has the Minister undertaken in response to the concerns of some counsellors, psychotherapists and others about the clinical decisions of ACC over sensitive claims?
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I've been very reluctant to interfere in decisions of a clinical nature, but noting the concerns, have established an independent clinical review of ACC's policy and processes that is being led by Dr Barbara Disley and is due to be reported back to me next month. I was disappointed that Labor members refused my offer to be consulted on both the terms of reference and the membership of the review, which I believe is the proper and professional way in which to deal with this important and sensitive issue.
Lynne Pillay.
That Denise Cosgrove of ACC admitted last week that ACC may have moved too swiftly in their failed new process for sexual abuse counselling claims. Will he now admit that he has been supporting this atrocity against victims of crime in order to save face? And the truth is that even his claims that GPs supported the failed pathway is wearing thin in light of the publishing of the GP survey in the Christchurch Press today, saying 70% of GPs...
Order. I say to the honourable member, her question is highly marginal. I was going to allow it, even though she's made allegations in a question that are totally outside standing orders. But she can't go on any further. I invite the Minister to answer what she's asked so far.
Mr. Speaker, I'd refer the member to the statement from the College of General Practitioners last year, in which they indicated support for the clinical pathways that was provided by Massey University, and I'd be happy to seek the leave of the House to table that statement. I'd further say to the member, I have been reluctant, and rightly so. I really think it will be a slippery slope if we have clinical decisions being made by ministers of the Crown, let alone in an area that is as sensitive as support for those that have suffered sexual abuse.
Question number 11, Sandra Gowdy.
Thank you, Mr.